And it's the dumbest bill in America. And it is, you won't believe it, California bans gas-powered cars. Yes, the state of California, a la Governor Gavin Newsom, has banned gas-powered cars. In a dramatic move to tackle climate change, Governor Gavin Newsom today ordered state officials to ban new gasoline-powered cars within 15 years. But here's the thing. Let's hear it from Gavin himself. We have a clip on that, and here it is.
By 2035, in the next 15 years, we will eliminate in the state of California the sales of internal combustion engines. We will move forward to green and decarbonize our vehicle fleet here in the state of California. You can still keep your internal combustion engine car. You can still have a market for used cars. You can still trade and transfer those cars. We're not taking anything away. We're providing an abundance of new choices and new technology, being agnostic about how we get to zero emissions, but being committed to getting to zero emissions by 2035.
I love that. He says, I love that in that California Governor Newsom saying, you still get to choose. Well, no, you don't. If you're banning gas-powered cars, you don't get to choose.
If you like your car, you can keep your car. It's like that.
Exactly. And so wait a minute. So let's say if you're in Nevada and it's 2035 and you can buy a brand new gas-powered car in Nevada, but then you go to California and because you know, of course, between now, this year 2020 and 2035, California is also going to ban what? Gas stations. You know that's the next thing, in which case, if you try to drive to the state of California, you're not going to be able to buy gasoline in the state of California because they're going to be so advanced, no one's going to want to visit them. So are you going to be able to buy fuel for airplanes in 2035? I mean, it's just ridiculous.
LAX.
But what did he say? He said, Melissa, the governor said, you get to choose. You know, we're not taking away choice. You still have, and in the picture, here's my favorite thing. In the picture of that video, he has like 4 or 5 electric cars. And they're all like, one's an Audi, and like, they're all like really expensive. One's a Tesla, really super expensive cars.
Those are great optics for middle-class voters in California.
Exactly. So, podcast listeners, we have a series of clips on this California bans gas-powered cars, stupid bill, dumbest bill of the day. I mean, probably dumbest bill of the year. In California, but they just had an exit tax too that they also try to put in place. So that was also really stupid. So we have a second clip on this, and this is KPIX, the local TV station in San Francisco, which describes the executive order of Gavin Newsom in more detail. This is worth looking at, and here it is.
Thank you. Under the current order, new gas-powered cars or pickup trucks will have to be phased out by 2035. Then in 2045, new medium to large heavy-duty trucks will also have to be zero emission. Climate experts say the world must stop production of gas and diesel-powered vehicles by 2030 in order to keep global warming to tolerable levels.
Climate experts say. Okay, so
do they think this is going to cut down on traffic in LA and all the major cities?
That's right. It's going to solve all the traffic problems in LA. Everybody buys a Tesla and then everything's going to be fine. Exactly. Oh, yeah. Here's a question. There is not Gavin Newsom himself actually admitted that there's not enough electricity on the grid because California keeps closing any kind of fossil fuel power plant that they can.
And aren't they already impacted by blackouts?
By blackouts and by roving brownouts as well, because the simple fact that California hasn't produced enough, they don't have enough power plants producing electricity that are on the grid. And this has nothing to do with the wildfires. That's a separate issue. We're talking about today, they don't have enough power on the grid. So they have to buy the power outside the state. And so hear me out here. If you have everybody tomorrow buy an electric car, how are they going to get more power on the grid? Because solar and wind just isn't going to do it. But this is exactly what they think. And Gavin Newsom, once again, in California, once again, saying, we don't want to give you choice. And that's why we're doing this dumbest bill in America on a regular basis, because governments think that they have the right to tell you what you can buy and when you can buy it and how you can buy it, but then they lie about it and say, oh, but we're still giving you a choice, at least until 2035 we are.
They're weakening all other possible options.
Exactly. Oh, that's what I want to say. Climate experts say. That's what that clip just said. Climate experts say. Well, what climate experts? Why don't you provide the data? Why don't you provide, I don't know, their names and their educational backgrounds and show us why that is the case? And so good old Gavin Newsom thinks that if everybody in California suddenly drives an electric car, there aren't going to be any wildfires because climate temperatures aren't going to go up as much is what he said. He really actually thinks that human beings are going to have such an impact on the climate with respect to the increase in temperatures that by getting rid of all those cars, the temperature is actually going to go down? Really? Look, these people, there are all kinds of technologies that we could implement and that we could encourage and that we should encourage, just to let you know. We should encourage them.
But
to mandate
the
them, provide the option, not the mandate. So, I mean, would you today, as a millennial, would you buy an electric car?
Well, my car, it runs on gas and it runs fine. Maybe if I had the money, or I haven't even driven an electric car before. But I've heard a lot about them. I see Elon Musk on my Twitter feed occasionally.
They seem cool, but here's my issue. My issue is like, well, they go what, 150 miles, maybe 200 miles? I mean, that's the issue. And I can't easily recharge them when I'm trying to travel between point A and point B unless there is a charging station, which there's unlikely to be one. And I get this, the chicken and egg thing. You want to, first we have to mandate it and then we're going to build the charging stations. How about if you just stay out of it, government? Just stay out of this business. Elon Musk is building these cars. Some of the cars, I've driven some of them, I think they're pretty amazing. I also think they're incredibly overpriced. That's why I wouldn't buy one. And I also wouldn't buy one because of the range of the battery, which is an issue. So KPIX in San Francisco actually asked some people in the street about what they thought about Gavin Newsom's latest decree. And it is a decree, right? It's like, you will, from this day forward, you cannot buy a brand new car. It's a decree. And here's KPIX. And everyday Californians giving their opinion about this. And here it is.
In the next 3-4 years, it's going to be cheaper to have an electric vehicle than an internal combustion vehicle. So I don't think it'll have to be mandated. I think it'll just make common sense to go that way.
Nothing can compete with the sound of a naturally aspirated 6.2 liter V8. So, I mean, Teslas are cool and all, but, it's all about that V8 Thunder, baby.
I agree.
Yeah.
There's nothing better than V8 Thunder, man. You like that sound. And when you hear a Tesla go by, it's like this swish sound. And you're like, I'm sorry. That just does not sound very manly. You kind of need that V8 sound.
Yeah.
So
these mandates are why in 2018, over 600,000 people left California, and they're moving to states like Texas and Arizona, where the governors are level-headed and don't do these excessive mandates.
Well, my favorite thing is, as I said earlier, is get all these people, let's just say in Texas, and they get in their brand new combustible engine cars and they drive to California like, where's the gas station? And it's like, well, we don't have them anymore, man, because we all drive electric cars because we're just like really cool. Reminds me of that South Park clip where they're all they expel gas and they're trying to recapture the methane gas, It's like, well, we're just like really progressive and we're just really cool because we drive electric cars in San Francisco. I mean, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, good old Gavin Newsom. I mean, I know that this governor is being pushed from the left constantly by the crazies in California.
Oh, yeah.
And I do wonder sometimes, is he really that far left? Or is he just trying to stay elected and stay relevant?
I think it's a mix of both because there are populations in like San Francisco, Los Angeles, and some other pockets. I mean, UC Berkeley's in California. Adam Schiff, Nancy Pelosi, they're all there.
Yeah, so he has to kind of answer to those people and to their constituencies who obviously think that there's no limit. They don't believe in government limits. They believe that the Pelosi's and the Schiffs of the world and the Berkeleys of the world, they believe that government doesn't have limits. So they're very anti-United States Constitution. They believe instead government should do everything and force everything upon the people, and that the individual rights can be taken away at any time, including the individual right to buy a car with a combustible engine. But of course, as Gavin says, you still have that right. You still have that. Really, Gavin? You didn't. You just signed a decree
Yeah.
that says we can't buy them brand new in California after 2035, and you know that between now, 2020 and 2035, you're going to completely and utterly eliminate what? Gas stations, of course. And you're going to say, no, all the gas stations, my new decree, every gas station will now have electric powering station, and we're going to ban the sale of gas because experts say that the climate is getting warmer, and therefore, if we do that, the climate won't be as warm.
And he timed it to go into effect when he's long out of office and retired.
Exactly. And so California bans gas-powered cars. That is the dumbest bill in America. I want to thank, of course, Christopher Hopkins, our assistant producer, and Melissa Brown for helping us with this dumbest bill in America. And of course, Adam Couture as well, our producer. We'll see you next time.